Hello and welcome to the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports, joined once again by Logan Glaser. Logan, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Logan, we're going to transition to baseball now. It's fantasy baseball season. We still have fantasy football drafts going on as well if you want to start drafting there, but the fantasy baseball season's right around the corner. We thought it would be a great time to preview every position up until the start of the season. So we're going to do that every week. We're going to preview every position. This week, we're going to do first base. And for the preview, we're going to give you a target, a fade, a sleeper, and a rookie. We're going to give you one of those for each position up until the season starts, but it should be a lot of fun, Logan. A lot to talk about, a lot of great players out there this year as well, in my opinion. But this first base position, the first one we're going to tackle, I think it's pretty deep personally.
Yeah, it's definitely deep, as you mentioned. There's a lot of players I find like in the 10 to 20 range for first basemen that could easily go out and have 25 plus home runs. So that's kind of where I'm going to be kind of targeting that when tackling this position. As you mentioned, the transition from football to baseball, it's a completely different type of fantasy contest. Baseball is just a completely different beast in terms of fantasy, whether it's you're doing best ball or you're just managing on a daily to weekly basis.
It's definitely a grind baseball if you don't do a best ball league because it's a long season. It's hard to keep up with. You need to be on your toes, though, because a lot happens quickly. People get called up. People get hurt. People break through. I think in baseball, there's a lot more breakout candidates that you don't know of that you can pick up off the waiver wire as opposed to football.
Yeah, I think you can have a lot more success if you dive deeper into these player pools than compared to like football. You're just going to have those breakout candidates, and you can get an edge on the competition if you're really knowledgeable about the players. And that's what we're going to try to dive into today with first baseman.
Exactly. And if you want to get in any of these games, go to rtsports.com, click on that Money League link, and look at that baseball contest page. We have all sorts of different options, different price points, different big money games, big money contests, you name it, we offer it. With best ball, which are very popular. We're doing our home run showdown this year as well, which is a lot of fun, where you just pick one player from each position and try to find the most home runs out of those positions, and then put it up against three other people and try to win big there as well. So a lot of options, a lot of games here at RealTime Fantasy Sports. I highly encourage you to check it out. So Logan and I, we're going to jump in now to this first base preview. We're going to talk about a target first. So this is somebody that we're looking at in drafts. Could be anything. Could be a superstar. Could be maybe somebody deeper. It could be different from week to week. But give me your target first of all, Logan.
Yeah, my target for first baseman is going to be Nolan Jones. He's currently has an ADP of 47.86, so he's going around into round 4, early round 5 with that. He's 25 years old. He finished last year 4th and rookie of the year voting with that. He plays first baseman for Colorado, and that's all. That is a huge plus if you're not familiar with baseball. Playing at Coors Field will definitely boost your stats with that. He should be batting 3rd for Colorado this year. Last year, he batted .297. He had 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, and only played in 106 games. In AAA, he played 39 games. He hit .356 with 12 home runs. I think he is a good candidate for a 30-30 season. It might come this year. It could come next year with that. Again, he's only 25 years old with that, but I think he definitely has the skill set to go out there and go 30-30. He was on pace for that last year with his MLB game, so I really like that value going into the 4th round.
And my first base target, Logan, is going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So he still goes with around those elite guys, but he isn't in the same category, a first or second round pick. He's more at the end of the 3rd, early 4th round pick. I really like that value with him because I think that offense really underachieved last year. And I just love Guerrero's consistency. I think he's going to be even better this year with that offense. Moving forward a little bit, in my opinion, because like I said, they underachieved, but they have a lot of talent there in Toronto. So if I'm going to go up and get one of these elite first basemen, I'm going to wait for those first three or four guys off the board and then take Guerrero Jr. because I think he's going to rebound, have a big year, and I'm happy taking him at the end of the 3rd or early 4th round. So I'm looking for big things from Vlad Guerrero Jr. this year. All right, Logan, let's talk about the other end of things. So guys we're fading, somebody we don't think is maybe worth their current draft spot. So give me your fade.
Yeah, so my first baseman fade is going to be Pete Alonso. He's currently going 23 for his ADP, so it's a top star player with that. But going into the second round, and it's just hard for me to buy into a first baseman that hit 217 last year. That just scares me. He does provide with the home runs. He hit 46 home runs last year. He also does very well with runs and RBIs. But that 217 average just scares me for taking a player in the first two rounds. I do expect him to kind of bounce back from his average. His last couple of years, he went 260, 262, 271, but that huge drop off last year to 217. The positive for him is he has been healthy in all 4 seasons so far. But I'd much rather take another player later, even a Mets teammate that goes a couple picks after him, Lindor. I'd rather have Lindor just because he's going to have better average. He's going to hit 30 plus home runs and going to have those 30 plus steals, which you're not going to get from Alonzo. So Alonzo is definitely going to be a guy that I'm going to be fading in drafts this year.
He's definitely a lot more attractive in points leagues than roto
For
leagues
sure.
because that
Absolutely.
average
Yeah,
is
just that average just can kill
it's a
you.
drain on you for sure, especially with all the at bats he gets. So my fade is actually a young player. A lot of people are high on him, and that's Christian Encarnacion Strand. So he's not even guaranteed the starting spot yet in Cincinnati. They want him to start. He's likely going to start, but he has an ADP of 150, and that means he's the 11th first baseman off the board. Not guaranteed a starting spot. They want Jonathan India in the lineup as well. He could be moved to first base, which could cut down on the at bats for Encarnacion Strand. I like his talent. I think he's a good player, but I think he's going to be hit or miss throughout the season, especially since in the outfield, they have a log jam there too. They have a lot of talented players there that are going to be looking for at bats. They could be DHing. So that means if our Encarnacion Strand has to DH and India is playing first, he could lose out on at bats there. I don't like the price tag. I like the talent. I like his upside and ceiling, but for that price of 150 ADP, I'm not sure I'm buying it. There's a lot of guys I'd rather have than him in that spot. I think he could be a really boom or bust pick. All right, let's talk about a sleeper now, Logan. Sleeper at first base, somebody that's maybe going later that you like that could end up surprising this year.
Yeah, I think this guy's a real breakout candidate this year, and that is Spencer Torkelson. He's 24 years old. In 2022, he had not the best season. He had played 110 games. He hit 203, 8 home runs. Last year, we saw a huge improvement. He went from batting 203 to 233, and he went from 8 home runs to 31 home runs. So he saw a huge jump in production last year, and I expect that to continue. He's really going to be their franchise player for Detroit. He's going to be batting third for them, and they're really relying on him to continue his production. And I really like his value at 108 is his current ADP. So going in rounds 10 and 11, and that you're going to get a guy who's hit 30 plus home runs last year, batting third for a team. So I really like that value.
I had Torkelson on a ton of my teams last year. I thought he was a great candidate to buy low on because everybody loves his ability, and he proved that he can be a player in this league. So definitely not going to be as cheap this year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, last year is going near the end of all the drafts after that bad rookie season.
So my sleeper pick is a guy who's been around a little bit, but he's coming off a torn ACL, and that's Rhys Hoskins. So he moved to Milwaukee, signed with them in the offseason. I love that landing spot. I know he's returning from a torn ACL, but you can get him dirt cheap. His ADP is 182, so you can get him after a lot of the first basemen have already been taken, and he had 30 home runs his last season in the MLB. He should hit in the middle of that order. He has 27 or more home runs, 4 or 5 seasons in the major league, and he usually hits around 250. So he's not really a drain on your batting average like Alonzo would be, because the average right now, if you get around 265 ish in your roto leagues, that's pretty good. So he hits around 250, not going to be a drain there. I think Hoskins is a good value pick late in drafts.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really like his ballpark as well. With going to the Brewers, it's definitely a hitter's ballpark for sure.
And they're looking for offense in the lineup, made some offseason trades, and he could be in a prime spot to drive in runs. So I definitely think he's a good, maybe under the radar candidate for this year. So, Logan, we're going to move to rookie now. And both of us actually picked the same rookie. That's not a great class for first baseman, but this guy could actually help a little bit. So I'll let you lead in with him, and then I'll add on to it a little bit.
Yeah, so the rookie is Nolan Shanuel for Angels first baseman. Last season, he only appeared in 29 games for the Angels. He spent most of it in for playing for Florida Atlantic and for college. He hit 447 in college, 19 home runs in 59 games, just put up insane stats with them. And he appeared in, as I mentioned, 29 games for the Angels. He hit 275, one home run. But what really stood out to me was he had more walks than strikeouts in those 29 games. And he got that immediate
That is
call up to
rare
the
these
majors
days.
with him struggling. He had 20 walks in 29 games. He had 19 strikeouts. And he's actually projected to have the highest on base percentage for the Angels this season, even higher than Trout. So what he does is he gets on base, which it depends on what type of format you're using, because the home runs are a little skeptical, just because he only had one in those 29 games. He did have 19 in college out of 59 games. So he could definitely improve there, but I could definitely see him slotting in right in front of Trout just to get a guy on base for him. I do think the Angels are really going to struggle this year, but he should get an immediate jump on that first base position out of spring training.
Yeah, so I think he's going to be a good just uh, late round pick just to help in a little bit in every category, especially in deeper leagues. He's not going to be a drain on anything. I like him to hit around 270-ish with 70 RBIs, 70 runs. I think he could get around 15 home runs. I think that's what most projections have for him. He might also get a couple steals. He won't get double digit, but he could end up getting 5 or so. So he's not going to be a drain. You can get him super late. I think he has some potential. Like you said, he could hit in front of Trout, so that means he gets favorable pitches as well. So I think Shanuel could end up being a guy that helps fantasy teams. You can get really late as a rookie. Like we said, not a great rookie class for the first base position. Some guys could end up getting called up and help, but overall, Shanuel is the guy that stands out for both Logan and I. All right, Logan, that's the first base preview. A lot of fun talking with you about it. I think we have a good start, good foundation for these previews, and we're going to be doing the same thing going forward. So I appreciate you coming on as always, and
Yeah.
good luck to you in your any drafts you got coming up.
Thanks, appreciate it. And just a message for everyone that RTFBC is 50% full out
Oh
or
wow.
sold out. So that's definitely going to sell out probably in the next couple of weeks. 6 leagues remain open for that. So definitely make sure to get into those leagues before that is sold out.
And I should mention we're taping this on Thursday, and today is the first spring training game of the season. So I'm excited about that in the afternoon. It is the Padres and Dodgers. So it's great to see baseball on TV again, even though
For
it's
sure. I
been in
can't wait
March.
for the season.
Yeah, exactly. Should be a lot of fun. All right. We look forward to being on again here with the second base preview. That's what we're going to do next. So be sure to look for that. And we're going to hit all the previews going forward. As always, I appreciate you watching and appreciate you supporting Real Time Fantasy Sports. This has been Jeff Paur. Have a great day.